Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, 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 grab what you know is for you. No more whoa, 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 gotta go, go, go. If you'd like to share any information to me about the channel, my No More Funland poetry, or anything else that might seem pertinent, there is an email that I will share up here. It's also in the description. Please reach out with any questions and any donations to this PayPal address. Just paste it in your browser. It's also in the description. Would be much appreciated. The channel is still growing, and if you enjoy or get any benefit from anything that I've released for you, I would very much appreciate any support you could spare, and I hope that it comes back to you tenfold. So, back for a video talking about health, pain, chronic health problems to do with pain, voice, noise, and vibration. So I've talked a little bit about a few operations that I had, and chronic migraines, chronic sort of facial pain and cramping. You can hear a little bit of the catch in my voice right now. As the winter months get on and you can't have the windows open as much, as the heat is on and it gets much drier, it gets difficult. It gets very difficult. Migraines increase. I often have extra tightness and pain and extra cramping in the eyes and the face, into the neck and chest, and that's just a part of living in Canada. At some point, maybe I'll move to a place that doesn't have winter, and I don't have to deal with, 4 to 6 months of extra problems, extra complications, extra health complications. But I find a way to get through, variety of ways to get through. So in 2001, I had a tonsillectomy to remove my tonsils, which were very big, larger than normal, I was told by the doctors. I used to get a lot of tonsil infections. I think it's better to have your tonsils removed when you're younger. You heal quicker. Maybe the body sort of gets used to the lack of the tonsils there and grows in a more accommodating way as we mature into our adult bodies. But, my body had mostly completed growing. The tonsils were very big, and so after the tonsillectomy, it became very difficult to swallow. The muscles and the flesh in the back of the throat didn't grab the food properly and pull it down. I had to start swallowing multiple times to get the food to go down. And beyond that, on the left side, I would get liquid when I would put it in my mouth. Before I could swallow it sometimes, it would kind of trickle down and sometimes go into my windpipe and cause choking and sputtering and a lot of clearing of the throat. And eating and drinking around mealtime became somewhat challenging. I had to learn to change my posture and breathe differently as a way to cope. And I guess that's maybe the first procedure that was supposed to be a standard procedure, unfortunately, that didn't turn out well, and created some what would normally be something we don't think about, eating and drinking. You know, you sit with people, you converse, you eat, you drink, you laugh. It created a dysfunction in that very normal, usually automatic mechanism. So sitting and breaking bread with people, which is one of the oldest ways that we connect, became pretty challenging. And it became hard for a lot of other people to understand the degree of focus that would come up around mealtime. I'd have to tell people, sorry, you know, I'm trying to swallow right now. I'm trying to make sure the food or the liquid doesn't go into my lungs. I got to focus on what I'm doing. And a lot of people, even that knew me, would forget. And, you know, it probably was a little disconcerting and distracting. So, yeah, that was 2001. Like I said, I learned to cope, posture, breathing, but eating and drinking became a stressful situation, and I've gotten more used to it over the years. Now in 2004, I had my wisdom teeth out. I had one tooth out at my dentist. It had erupted, you know, burst through the surface of the skin, and then he took it out. It was relatively uneventful. Nitrous oxide was fun and funny. I see why they call it laughing gas. I think that's the colloquial term. But I had another wisdom tooth that erupted soon after that, and I went to a dental surgeon that my dentist sent me to. Now that procedure was done in a sort of new way. I mean, experimental sounds dodgy, and the effect ended up being pretty dodgy, but instead of using the normal amount of stitches that a dental surgeon would use to reattach the flesh that was pulled back and opened to get at the teeth to remove them, this procedure was, I mean, the idea was that it would heal better this way, but the procedure was to make strategic stitches with minimal stitching and lay the skin flat and tight. And unfortunately, that didn't work very well. And on the left side, in the soft palate down into the jaw, didn't knit very well, didn't heal. It was a really long and painful recovery. And it was never the same. The muscles and nerves in my face didn't feel the same, didn't work the same. I couldn't smile the same after the procedure. And over the years, there was more problems swallowing. I would have that issue with the liquid going down into my windpipe. It got a little worse after the wisdom tooth operation. And I would get tightness. I would get catches in my throat, in my voice, issues breathing, because that tissue would get, I don't know, inflamed. I mean, I don't know what it is, what happened. I've had a lot of medical investigation with very little useful results, but continuing symptoms, continuing ongoing chronic pain that has developed over the years. And especially in the winters, it gets really tough, really tough. At a certain point, I got the diagnosis of chronic migraines, and I can explain that to people. They understand that. And when I do get a migraine, which is many days of the week, at some point during the day, depending on the triggers, it makes the scar tissue and everything in here more sore. Makes it harder to breathe, makes it more twitchy, especially in and around the eyes and down into the jaw. The migraines overlap with whatever happened with scar tissue. But there's many ways that I've learned to cope. I've had to get creative, and I've had to take a certain degree of extra ownership of my health. So I've had to investigate on my own. And one of the ways that I've done that is through voice work. Using my voice and my vocal cords to vibrate the soft palate. You can even get vibration up into sort of the eyes, all into that area. I can move it around into different parts of my jaw, down into the different parts of the neck, down into the upper chest, and even sort of into the abdomen to a certain degree. And one of the issues is tightness, sometimes stuck food, sometimes stuck congestion. Even at times it feels like the blood or, I don't know, other sorts of fluids are not flowing properly through the face, through the neck. And I mean, from the body up to the head, that's how the blood gets to the brain. So that can contribute to migraines. If things aren't flowing properly, it can contribute to brain fog and these kinds of things. And I've just had to investigate myself and take ownership. And so I created these exercises, this discipline, these techniques. Some of it is singing, but for a number of years, for 7 years, 8 years, I've started to do this on a regular basis. Now, it's not always maybe understandable for other people because some of the noises that the vibrational exercises make, they sound weird, and maybe people are ignorant. It seems like a lot of people don't understand these techniques. Often, at least initially, I was trying to sing because I could use notes and singing and going up and down, I guess, a scale, or changing the depth or the height of the way that I was singing to kind of move up and down the face and the throat and the chest to find areas of tightness and congestion and then focus on that after doing a bit of singing. But these vibrational exercises have been invaluable at times where there's nothing else I can do, where I've got a bad headache or I'm sort of foggy brained and I can't speak properly or breathe properly, and I have very little other recourse, very little other way to alleviate those problems. And so I have to turn to vibration, one of the principles of the universe, externally, but internally as well. I guess the voice sounds all right now. As I've been speaking, I can feel some of the congestion that was there when I started this video has started to move, and the tissues have started to open up. The tightness has started to ease a little bit as I work the vocal cords. But, it's these kinds of noises which sometimes can sound interesting or powerful and resonant, and other times sound terrible, like, So, so that initial noise, excuse me, that initial noise as I'm opening the area in the throat around the vocal cords and getting some of that congestion to move through, alleviating some of the pain and tightness there, that can go on for a long time until I can get to a point where it sounds almost a little more musical. It sounds a little more pleasant. But again, these noises are not meant to sound pleasant. The sound of them expresses how bloody uncomfortable it is in here. Who knows who's judging and listening? But it doesn't matter. When you take ownership of your own health and you have something that's challenging, that's hard to explain, you've just got to go with it. You've got to go with your experience, you've got to investigate, and you've got to take those things that you find or you develop yourself and boldly utilize them on a regular basis. And so that's what I've been doing. I just got to do the Now you can hear my voice is a little more open. It's moved aside some of the congestion that I can feel in here, but the congestion falls back into place. A byproduct of migraines is, it seems like an extra production of mucus, I suppose. So sometimes, especially in the winter, there's a flow that keeps kind of getting renewed, but it's very uncomfortable and makes it harder to breathe, makes it harder to speak, and sometimes I just got to keep clearing it out. When you're in your home, you should feel free to address your health, to manage yourself, and do what you must. So sometimes you gotta Can hear a little bit more resonance. I can speak more fully, and I have a relief of that pressure, that kind of nagging sensation and kind of twitchy pain that tends to happen in some of these areas, especially in the home. You just got to keep addressing it and keep managing your health. Oh, sometimes, especially on a really bad migraine-y day, up in the sinus, upper jaw, soft palate kind of area, it gets really tight. A lot gets stuck in there, and sometimes I can't blow it out. I don't know how to get it out except for using vibration to open and clear. So it sounds weird, but you gotta be brave when you're exploring your health. Maybe you didn't know it's coming back for yo. Maybe you didn't know. Whoa. Well, that's a little bit more of it. I might make more videos with these kinds of vibrational techniques that I use on a regular basis, talking about them a little more. But this is another message to say, people, when you do things that they don't understand, will judge. Not everybody, but many people these days. They're often wrong. It's often negative if they don't understand it, but you have to be brave, find your truth, and follow your intuition to a more open state of consciousness, to a healthier body, to a greater sense of ease. If I can do it, so can you. Thank you.